Morning. It's Sunday morning. It's the Lord's Day of rest. It's a day to reflect the week that we've just had and look ahead for the week that's going to be coming. I'm raw. I haven't even had a shower. I've just popped down, as you can see. Just wanted to get this show out early for you lovely guys. And once again, before I get going, the views are just going through the roof because of your backing. Doing really, really well. Sadly, it's perhaps one of the reasons on the back of the not so good things happening at the club. It's just nature, that bad news sells, that kind of thing. So I hope on that front that certainly doesn't carry on, but certainly keep following, keep subscribing. We've got to win that race towards 2,000 subs, and that'll be brilliant for me, that kind of thing, and gives me motivation to keep doing more and more videos for you guys, that kind of thing. Because I do have a full-time challenging job, but West Ham is my love, West Ham is my hobby, and I love to do these videos and interact with you guys. Great 2-3 free shows yesterday we done, including a very long show which was a live chat, which was always what the channel was built upon, was to do live chats, and I know in between, like this one, we're doing sort of pre-recorded videos, so I'm mixing up a bit, but largely always want to keep those live shows really in the middle of what we do at the channel, really. So long may that carry on, really. So this video, I've been thinking a couple of things. I've been hearing what other fans have been saying, other sort of West Ham platforms, what they were discussing after the game. Always very interesting to kind of look at different views of people. This channel, my view has always been, be honest, no matter how controversial it might be. We're never afraid at this channel to just be honest, say it the way say it the way you feel. We don't want to be politically correct or anything like that. We're raw. We just want to say how we feel, and then we back it up, and away we go. So this channel at the moment, with what's being discussed at the moment, which is our manager's future, David Moyes, since the Chelsea game, which is on record, I think that was late September, I believe, we were the first channel to say we wanted him out, and we provided our reasons and things like that. And that's kind of how we feel, and that's the way we feel about every match. We're honest about it. We single out any player that we feel isn't up to it, doesn't matter who they are, that kind of thing, and discuss it. That's what it's all about. And even yesterday on the live chat, there's a few regular fans of ours who want Moyes in, and then I thought about it last night that we got to give platform to those guys. We've got to give them respect. We've got to talk about their case. So what I wanted to discuss in this video was the board meeting last night, what I think may have happened, that kind of thing, any feedback I've got to share with you. And then also I want to discuss the Moyes in case, what fans that want Moyes to stay, what they're saying, and then I will discuss what I feel about that. Then obviously I'll summarize what Moyes out cases, which a lot of you probably know anyway from watching my channel. So let's start off with the meeting. I mean, I was told by two very good sources that there was an emergency board meeting at the club after the match, and afterwards I didn't really hear any news. I kept looking at my phone, refreshing it every 5 minutes all last night, thinking there's got to be something trickling through, like he's on the way out, he's got one more game left, they're lining up such and such person, the board have given up, or they're going to give him his backing, which is usually means he's going to be gone anyway. Nothing came through in the end. The meeting definitely took place, but because we've heard no news at the moment, which again is a surprise to me, it could filter out tonight, tomorrow. But the way it stands at the moment, worryingly, it looks like the majority of the board perhaps again are sitting on the fence. You always need a majority, like the Bank of England set interest rates, usually 10 of them, and you need a majority to change it or leave it. So it could be a case of perhaps slightly more people are sitting on the fence and don't know what they want to do. So the ones that want him out can't make those decisions. I was at the Blackburn game, and then I was told that Kretinsky was in the crowd which sent alarm bell ringing for me, saying, why would you come down for a game like that? Usually if you're home to Liverpool, Spurs, Arsenal, Man United, or a really big game, you come down. And that kind of made me think again, you've watched a Blackburn performance. Perhaps you stayed here again to watch today's game, yesterday's, because it was a home game. It got worse. You're the second highest majority shareholder, young, and probably with a view to become the number one shareholder soon into the future. So if I was him, you'll be worried about your stake, your investment, the value of the club. And we can never say we're too good to go down, right? I'll never want to talk about that because it's happened to us far too often. The Kenyo season, things like that. And the worry with this team is that when we first stayed up, there was a couple of fresh players that came in and helped. Souček came in as a raw player, did really well. Kufal, full of energy. Rice was just emerging then. Bowen came in like an SAS soldier with his stamina, but now you look at those players that look broken. We don't seem to have any leaders on the pitch, which should have been addressed in the summer, like I mentioned. Rice for me is not the ideal captain choice at the moment. He's a little bit young for me. I prefer someone, like I said, a bit like Milner type, 28, 29 Milner type, who's hopefully won something in the game. And he's coming to the twilight of his career, got a good 3-4 years to offer that could come in the dressing room, and then happy to take on the armband and lead by example, and has experienced a lot of things at the bottom, at the top. You can kind of do that. So I'm not sure how many of these players have got the bottle for a relegation fight. A lot of them, not sure, don't think they've done that kind of thing before, I know Cornet went down, didn't he, with Burnley? So he's got a bit of experience. And he for me, unfortunately, was the signing I loved the most. And I thought he hit the ground running. I know there's still amazingly few fans out there don't like him. I think he's brilliant. He's always got something about him, always trying to create something. Linked up with Skamaka very well. The worry for me is Paqueta was absolutely shocking yesterday. Absolutely shocking. Mislaid pass after mislaid pass. Couple of tricks, not doing anything, losing the ball. Couple of atrocious shots on goal that went way over the bar. Benrahma is trying to make things happen, but his relationship with Moyes is not good, and that's not healthy long term. It's in his mind that I'm going to be taken off. How can you play when you know in your mind he don't like you, and he's only playing you because there's fan pressure? That's not good. And obviously Agard is just not match fit. Zuma's gone off, Rice, yeah, but there's only one person, isn't it, really? Bowen's out of form. Souček's out of form. Kofal's out of form. Kera's not up to it. Fabianski done all right, but he's getting on a bit. Johnson's just career's going nowhere at the moment. There's so many issues, right? And how can you say that this team has got appetite for a relegation fight, right? The only thing that's going for us is that it's a very tight league. So if you win a couple, you can go as far as 10th, like we were after the Bournemouth game. But the worry for me is that it's just 1 point above safety now. And it's coming up to Christmas. It's getting worse and worse. I was saying that every 5 games we were stuttering like a broken down train and somehow getting 1 win, 1 draw, lose, win, draw, lose. That's what we were doing. And I thought, it's getting worse than that. We're at the cup and we haven't won anything. Like I mentioned, it was a great opportunity at home to go through. And you can see that Blackburn have been drawn at home to Forest. A lot of the major clubs are going out the cup. And again, we've just hit a brick wall. Europa, a lot of people realise now what a Mickey Mouse Cup that is. You cannot put that and say, yeah, we can't sack Moyes because in the last 16 of the conference and things like that. It's just the league is the bread and butter, and it obviously looks like at this very, very early stage, we're not going to qualify via the league in terms of Europe, top 6, top 7. It's just not going to happen. Like I mentioned, you've got Brighton, Fulham up there. Newcastle have truly well cemented their place in the top 4. You've got big teams like Man United, Liverpool that are not even in the top 4 ahead of us in the queue. You've obviously got an improving Villa now, I think, under Emery, who I wanted as one of the candidates for the West Ham job. And so you're looking at, after spending all that money and having a little bit of a flavour of a couple of decent seasons, you're looking at best around 10th, I think. And that'll split the fan base. Some people will be very, very happy with that. Some people won't be. I think the majority won't be, but you've still got a healthy majority who will be, really. So in that meeting, I believe, again, just having a sense of it, that I think he's been given the vote of confidence. But what's worrying for me, and I'll go into it a bit later on, is just I mean, before I go into it, let me do the Moyes in case first. Let me speak on behalf of the people that want him. And the arguments I'm hearing is that we weren't very good before he came. We're in a much better position now. He's done a great job. We should respect that. And one of the things is, doesn't matter what happens this season, just leave it till the end of the season and then give him next season and then judge by next Christmas. I mean, that for me is crazy. It means we're struggling for 2 years in the league, 3 years. That's a no-no for me. But it is amazing what people think. And it's really interesting for me, the mindset. That's why, with respect, I'm discussing it. For me, I don't get it. But so there's people out there who want him to stay all of this season, no matter what happens, and then wait till next season to see if he can pick it up, right? Don't give me the Brendan Rodgers case, because he's won the FA Cup, top of my head. If not something else, maybe that's a good brownie, but he's won something, right? And Leicester obviously got a very, very special relationship with Brendan Rodgers, and it's that kind of special club. So you can't really put that out there. You can't compare us to Leicester. Brendan has obviously he managed Liverpool, Celtic, people like that, and I like him. He's a top class coach. And I think he also was being earmarked for the Man United job, funny enough, but he decided to stay at Leicester, and they've seemed to have turned it around, even though they didn't hardly spend a penny in the summer, largely a selling club, really. So that's one of the arguments for Moyes in. The other argument is that they believe that the World Cup break will be very, very good for the players and the manager. So you don't do anything when you've got the whole month off, and they think they're going to come back and without any coaching, because I think 5-6 players are going to be at the World Cup, so that'll be the quality players. The majority will be staying, and I think there's some friendlies being lined up, including I think Fulham flashed on my phone a couple of days ago. So they think that's gonna do them good. How can you go back into form without playing any games? If anything, majority of the players will go into their shell. It's going to be quiet at the ground. There's a lot of empty seats. I saw yesterday. It's getting worse and worse, right? Next game is Arsenal. Wow, and I think that's Arsenal away. It's probably they're 5, 6, 7 points ahead in first place, and probably the best team on form in our country anyway. So that's them, and they play an amazing type of quick touch, pressing, wonderful football, complete opposite of what we're doing at the moment. So some people think the World Cup break will be good. For me, I think the opposite. I think we already have wasted so many weeks and months not sacking him. With the window coming up, I would have believed that. Imagine a new manager coming in this week, and he would have had all of that month to get used to everyone around the training ground, the facilities, the board people, interact with the fans a bit, have time to select his backroom team staff, think about the tactics, slowly install them. I thought it would have been brilliant. It's like pre-season, right? And it looks like we're kind of written off majority of the season. We never got going this pre-season, and I kept telling you it's worrying, but you guys kept telling me, Jazz, we're just getting fit, don't worry about it. And I'm like, listen, it's looking bad. There's nothing in pre-season, not even a trick, a great goal. It's just boring all the way through, and I was proved right. So I for me think I'd think of it a great positive that we've obviously got World Cup an awkward time, but a new manager in the middle of the season can work with still a lot of players not going to the World Cup. You can work with them, freshen them up. And then got a whole month. That's such a good time for the new manager to come in. And then obviously not many games to look at before the window opens, but at least he's got something there to talk about and think about and plan. So for me, I don't understand that really. Some people obviously believe it's the players' fault. It's not the manager's fault. When they cross the line, it's the players. But for me, when they're conceding and they're starting so badly, and I mean conceding in the first 10 minutes, right? What message has the manager installed in your mind motivation. It's obviously gone one ear out the other. And I kept telling you they're not motivated by the message anymore. Right. And then the comments of David Moyes after the game that he thought we'd done well. He thought he saw a lot of things positive. If you hear that as a player and you've been playing crap, how's that going to motivate you to do even better next game? I know gone are the days of throwing teacups at players, but there's got to be something in the middle where you tell them off, it's not good enough, right? So for me, I don't believe in that. I think as a manager, the butt stops at the manager. He's got to get sacked. It's a performance, results-based business. He's got to go, right? I know the board installed him, but listen, the board are the owners of the club. They're not going to sack themselves. So that's not going to happen, right? And the board have stumped up money for him. And Sullivan did stick his little neck out and said, I've given him money in the last 3 windows. And he's decided not to buy anyone. He said, don't blame me. And then the window before this one, last window, they're like, still didn't buy anyone. And they're like, we're giving him player after player list. He just puts it in the bin. So he's brought this all on himself. He'd done all the hard work when he came in. And then when there was a time to bring 2 in every window quality, he wasted 2-3 windows. Then we ended up with 8 people leaving in the summer. Then he brought 8-9 in now. It's a complete mess, right? And then he never really wanted to play the new players at the beginning for ages, like with Scamacca. And then he's only doing things reactively because of the pressure from the board and the fans. He didn't want to play Scamacca as early as he did, right? He just wants to carry on with the Fornells, Antonio, Creswell, Fabianski, Souček. It's only the pressure of you guys on Downs that he's being forced his hand, right? And he's slowly losing his grip on the club. And for me, listen, I've seen live and football, and it's how the hell's he going to come back from this? It's just getting worse and worse and worse. Are we suddenly going to beat Arsenal? Even if we beat Arsenal, the next game we're going to lose anyway. This is a losing battle at David Moyes. He's going to lose in the end, and the fans, they're just slowly not going to go anymore or not going to back the team anymore. They're going to get bored. So that doesn't really make any sense for me, all that kind of thing. I think the World Cup break for me is a positive for bringing someone in, not like let the players think about, like, these are fully professional players, who've played for many, many years. They don't need a month to think about what's going wrong. It's the coaching, it's the message, isn't it? There's nothing. I mean, Scamacca looks isolated. Paqueta's playing awful football at the moment. Kehrer, he's got a hand in every goal we're conceding. Emerson is just being used as a 13 million euro conference player at the moment. Areola ain't getting a look in. And you're going to destroy Areola anyway, right? I know he's at fault for perhaps not saving one of the 10 penalties, but mate, this is not a good way to bring him in. You should have bring him in from day one and leave him in there, and then he would have grown and grown and grown, right? And either way, you know what to do with him. Johnson, left back, right back, centre back, shake it all about. Career's finished at West Ham under David Moyes. The boy looks a shadow. He's struggling, mate. He's struggling. You don't know where he's playing week in, week out. Conference, he stick him in as one of the 3 centre backs. Then he's dropped for the league. Then he's brought in when a left back, right back's injured. It's just what the hell's going on there, right? It's just not happening. Cornet, he was the real sort of flame and light for me, and unfortunately, he's kind of injured. And he's not expected back until after the World Cup. Antonio had a personal issue, and that again. You've seen my channels, you follow me. How much have I been banging about bringing another striker in with Scamacca? It takes him 2 years to buy one, and then, I ain't going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And now he's scrambling, looking for a striker in January. It was obvious that we needed a striker off the bench yesterday, and there's nothing on the bench. We had Fornells, Lanzini. I mean, listen, Fornells has been all right recently, but when you just need to up your game a bit, make the opposition worried a bit. They had Vardy coming on. We had Lanzini to look at, right? And then I look at people like Mopay, 13 million, and 1 or 2 other bargains that we could have had. And Diaz, I think we would have grabbed him for 13 to 15 million at Blackburn. He looked very, very good in midweek. He can play any of those 3 positions. He can play up front, you can do it all. But he just didn't do it, And if Paqueta doesn't improve and none of the new signings settle in, it just goes on. And you've got to blame Moyes for that, It's just too many things are going wrong that the manager needs to look at himself in, the substitutions, in-game management, tactics. He only knows one tactic. It's the end, mate. And listen, gone are the days when managers used to resign because of the financial package, same as players. players don't put a transfer request in anymore because they lose the benefits. So he's not going to resign because he's going to get a payout. I don't blame him. I don't know much of what of a contract he's got, but the board have really got to get their finger out their backside, you know. And there are a lot of candidates out there. So don't give me that argument, oh, yeah, but who's going to come in? I mean, I covered 7-8 managers in my video who are out of contract. You know, it's worth talking to Poch. It's worth talking to Villa Boas. It's worth talking to 1 or 2 other foreign managers. And then there's also a couple that are working at the moment. A lot of you mentioned the Brentford manager, Mr. Frank. I might do a video on him soon. Sporting Lisbon manager's been spoken about quite a lot. Listen, it's not our job. Go out there, do your research, do your scouting missions, find out who's, again, playing really, really good football, attractive football, and he can play with, like I mentioned, more than one formation, more than one tactics, someone who works well with young players, academies, and that kind of thing. And hopefully, you know, fresh start. It's a reasonably good squad of players. Hopefully a little bit more money left for them to go again in the next window whenever the new manager comes. And league-wise, it's going to be hard to qualify via Europe because we've just messed it all up. But hopefully there's a chance we can get close to winning the conference, or maybe go on an FA Cup run. But under David Moyes, I can't see it. I can't see it. And it'll be ironic if my Boxing Day sacking thing comes true, what I predicted, but that's like you've wasted all that World Cup month. You lost to Arsenal. Fixtures are coming thick and fast. Players are on the floor. FA Cup third rounds around the corner. It's going to be so much pressure for the new manager. It's very, very hard, you know. Villa managers come in truly, truly well before the window. I've been told that he sent scouts to watch Rice. And I kept telling you, Villa are a big club. They've got a lot of money, right? A lot of money's been wasted, but they got a bigger purse, and they got perhaps the manager that I think will be half decent for them. And they're going to go in hard, mate. Trust me. So that's kind of what I wanted to discuss. That it looks like, unfortunately, amazingly, David Moyes is still at the club. And that could mean that, well, there's still a chance perhaps he could be sacked tonight, tomorrow. If there's no news by Monday, then I'm afraid, amazingly, he's going to stay till Christmas or January. So the window's going to be wasted. But there might be crazy that he might just carry on all season, that they're going to give him more money in January. And then he's messed it all up with the money they gave him. They're going to give him more money. So we'll just watch. I'm just glad in a way I haven't got a season ticket this season. I used to have 3 the season before, 2 last season. I can't go as often as I can. I try to get out there once or twice a month, but I feel sorry for you guys who've got a season ticket there. It's very expensive, you know, traveling, food, eating. All day's gone, isn't it? Following our beloved West Ham. A lot of you go to every away game, so hats off to you guys, even Europe, you know. So it's not good. I can see the frustration when I watch some of the sort of videos and sort of channel discussions and things like that. So but it is what it is. I thought it's quite interesting. And again, I wanted to respect the Moyes in brigade. I wanted to discuss what they're thinking, which is obviously, they think that a winter break will be good for the players and the manager. Some of them think give him all of the season and then half of next season and then think about it. Some of them think it's all the players' fault. It's not the manager's fault when they cross the line. So it's very interesting, very interesting. For me, there's too many things going wrong, like I mentioned. There's not even, I know Rice is so good, but even he's slightly bit below his very, very high level standards. And there's no other player nowhere near doing anything. There's nothing happening at a club, nothing decent, top to bottom. There's no player from the youth who's broken in suddenly and cemented his place or threatening to cement his place even on the subs bench. None of the new signings have hit the ground running and improved us. We look worse. So it's all these things, you know, all these things. So anyway, I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching. Thank you for your amazing subscriptions and management, and racing towards 2K. Doing really, really well because of your good wishes and backing. So put your comments in there. Always reply. I reply to the videos. Yesterday, all your comments that you put down, so I try to reply within 48 hours if I can, but I do look at every comment. So hope we have a good day, and we'll cheekily keep an eye on the phone and see if there's any developments, really. But unfortunately, at the moment, with respect, it's not nice that anyone loses their job, you know, always with respect. But as a fan and on a personal, selfish level, I want him gone and just be rejuvenated and excited again to follow my beloved West Ham and bring a new manager in, really, with fresh new ideas. It'll lift everyone, the club, the fans, everyone. So yeah. Hope you enjoyed watching the video, and I'll be back with another video soon. Take care. Come on, you irons.